Good morning, class. Now, everyone settle down, everyone keep the noise down. If you don't remember me, my name is Teacher Alec, and today I'm going to be teaching you about grammar in the community. So, the first task for today is students are to move into groups of 4. Now, if you remember the last lesson we looked at vocabulary in the community. So there should be a few words you can remember. What I'd like you to do is to go to each corner of the room and you can see a whiteboard set up. If you guys can all, in your groups, remember as many words as you can, and I'm going to go around each group in a minute and check which words you've remembered. Now, we're going to number off 1 to 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, can I get 1s over here, please? 2s over there, 3s over at the back, and 4 just over here. Now, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the students about 5 minutes just to talk amongst themselves, get their confidence speaking in their teams, and also just practicing English again. Once that 5 minutes is up, I'll get all of their attention again and see what they remember. Okay, class, so that's your 5 minutes up. Can we remember what words you've learnt? Yes, good effort, really well remembered there, guys. And this team, yes. Third team there, good, really good ideas from everyone there. Great to remember those sorts of ideas. And then the final team, last but not least, great. Okay, so class, you remembered quite a few of them. I'm going to quickly review a couple of them so you can remember them. So the first one is park. Park. Second word, store. Store. The third word, library. Library. The fourth word, school. School. Different words here, and the last words we learnt the last lesson, next to. So I, Teacher Alec, is standing next to a table. So that's a review of the last lesson, everyone. What we're going to do now is we're going to learn 5 different conjunctions to form basic sentences. And I'm going to talk you through them now. So if you could hold on 2 seconds while I put that on. So, learning in the community, grammar. Conjunction. What does conjunction mean? It means a word used to connect clauses or sentences. So, I'll be giving a few examples. The first example, now we know a few basic words. If there's any words people aren't sure of, let me know and I can explain that to you. So, the street is really clean. I love walking to school. The street is really clean and I love walking to school. So notice how those 2 kind of clauses have been put together to make one sentence. Now the key word, the conjunction today for this phrase is and. Okay? What's that question over there? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so the next one. I love going to the cinema. I never like the trailers. I love going to the cinema, yet I never like the trailers. So notice, and I'll say that sentence again, if everyone can listen in at the back please. So, I love going to the cinema, yet I never like the trailers. So, all you're doing there really is you're connecting 2 sentences to make a longer, slightly more interesting one that has a lot more going on in. The next example, I love shopping. I buy too many clothes. They can be joined together with a conjunction to make the sentence, I love shopping, but I buy too many clothes. So there's another example there. Notice how two simpler sentences can actually form one longer one. So it's just making the sentence a bit more interesting, a bit more complicated. The next example, I don't like running. I like food. Now these two simple sentences can come together to say, I don't like running, nor do I like food. So the conjunction used here is nor to make this sentence. Well done everyone. Does anyone have any questions on the presentation I just gave? Any questions at all from anyone that's not sure? Brilliant. So, the next thing I'm going to do is using these 5 conjunctions, for, and, nor, but, yet, I would like everyone to pair off and to begin to form 5 sentences using these words. And you can use all vocabulary that we taught in the previous lesson and anything else that you can remember. So I'll repeat those again, for, and, nor, but, yet. Now at this point, I'd go around the class and hand out some pictures and different guidance which I have available for me. And I would give the students 10 to 15 minutes to complete this, making sure that students that look like they're struggling or put their hands up for help are supported where necessary. Okay class, that's really brilliant. So, does anyone have any volunteers? Yes, you can read it out. Oh, you're a bit too shy, that's absolutely fine. I'll take that off you to read it now then. I really like swimming, but I get cold sometimes. That's a really good example. Well done. If I take another example from anyone else. Yes, I'll take that example there. I am very quick at running. However, I get tired when I run too far. Another perfect example, well done. One more from everyone. Anyone else want to do that? So I'll take this one here. I love swimming, but it's dry today. That's not a bad sentence. Could do a bit more work as it's not that relevant. However, it's a good attempt, so good job. So the next thing I would do is I'd move on to the next task. However, it's worth collecting everyone's kind of reports and marking them to give back to the students, either at the next lesson or the end of the lesson while they're doing their own work. This allows students to peer review what they've done, sort of evaluate how far they're learning and what they are unhappy with, so I can help them at the end of the lesson or at the next lesson. Now this will additionally be supplemented with homework, which I'll give to the students later on in the lesson towards the end, and I'll show them how exactly to go about completing this homework. So, the next thing I'm going to do, as we're about 25 to half an hour into the lesson, is I'm now going to show them the next main sort of stage of the lesson. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to make a travel brochure about their local community. To do this, I'll again hand out different sheets of plain paper, as well as pens and different things for them to write these brochures with if they don't have everything. As well as that, I'll additionally show them how to make one using a handout that I would have displayed, giving them a good idea of what they're doing. So class, here is the brochure that I've completed. What I would like everyone in this class to do is on your own to make a brochure about the local community. So it needs to be a travel brochure. So imagine I've never been to this community before. I'd like you to use pictures to help, and additionally vocabulary you've learned in the previous lessons, vocabulary you may know on your own, as well as conjunctions that you've learned or you've discussed and are happy to use. I'd like to see at least 5 conjunctions used within this brochure. I want it to be really convincing, so I want lots of good artwork. So class, I'm going to give everyone 20 minutes to do this, and of course, if anyone's unsure about anything, you can come to me and I'll make that clear for everyone. Okay? Now, it's really important to observe students that have issues with ADHD or stage fright or just generally taking part. Now, this will go into the next stage where once they've been given the 10 minutes to complete the presentation, I'd like each and every group to kind of stand up and to present what they've learned. Before I do this, as I've said, it's really important just to look out for students that are struggling or may not be happy about doing this. It's about either getting them to pair off with other students and present together, or put themselves in a position where they're comfortable to do that. And not every student may be able to do that. It's just trying to find what they're comfortable with doing. I'll now give the students about 20 minutes, I've said, just to kind of make their own presentations while I look at doing the next part of the lesson. So then class, if I could get everyone's attention please. Stop talking at the back there. Everyone listening? Brilliant. Well done. That's 20 minutes finished. Now, I know I've walked around the class to make sure everyone's okay, to check that everyone's happy with what they've got up to. And looking at everyone's work, you've all done an amazing job. So, if everyone can walk around the classroom quickly and have a look at what they've done and see what you think about the work. Now that's complete. If everyone could sit down, please. Now you can see everyone's done an amazing job. If anyone would like to volunteer to present their brochure to the class, that would be amazing. Any volunteers? Yes. Would you like to stand up? That's brilliant. Really great example. Now, what I really like about that is where they've used lots of colours and they've also used a good amount of conjunctions. Okay, would anyone else like to stand up? Yes, do you want to walk to the front here and give us your example? Really great example of a community brochure here. Now, if I was going to be visiting this place, I would be extremely interested to do so. Okay, so we'll do a few more of those. Now that's complete, so everyone's aware, I will mark this for the next lesson. And if anyone has any questions or uncertain about anything, come to me and I'll show you what needs to be done to improve your work. But that will be shown in the marking. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to end the lesson on one more short game to cover what we've learned and what we're still unsure about. Does anyone have any questions about that? Are we all happy with the lesson so far? Brilliant. So, we're now going to play a game of true and false. Students must line up in about 3 teams of 8. Now, the teams that were in before, you remember I paired you off 1 to 4? If you could all go back into those 4 teams and make 4 straight lines for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you each a question, pardon me, at the front of the cues. Now, if you answer that question correctly, you will get a point. If you are correct, you can move to the back of the line. Now, if you answer incorrectly to that question, you won't get a point, but I will tell you the answer. Now, the first team to get the back person to the front of the line will win, and I will tally all of your answers on the whiteboard behind. Is everyone happy with that? So, we can make our 4 lines now, and I'm just going to practice that 3 times with everyone, just to check everyone understands what's going on. So, is a house bigger than a hamster? Yes, well done. Go to the back and I'll give you a point. Is and an example of a conjunction? I'll say that again. Is and an example of a conjunction? No. Sorry, it is. Sorry, it's not that it's not. It is a conjunction, so you won't get the points there. One more example. It's going to be about vocabulary again. Okay? Is this calculator next to the table? No, it's on top of the table. Well done. Now, if each team is ready to go, we're going to do this to see which team wins. Now, the whole point of this exercise is to engage the students, because obviously they've been doing a lot of writing and colouring, so they're probably quite tired. And this will just bring the excitement back to the class, just to reconsolidate things that they might have learnt. Now that's complete, and although the children have finished the lesson, this should amount to about 50 minutes. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to conduct a homework task. Now, students must make a list of 10 things that they will do in their spare time in the community. And at least 5 of them must include a conjunction. Now, these can include simple sentences. However, they must use vocabulary about the community, and this will allow me just to check that they've learned everything in this lesson and they're happy with everything for the next lesson. This will also give me a chance just to check students that might be struggling due to whatever reason, so I can give additional help either at the start of the next lesson or in a different time period during the day at school, just to make sure that they're happy with everything they've learned and they're not being left behind. It might also be worth mentioning, which I will mention now actually, the fact that at the end of all 5 lessons which I'll give, there will be a short quiz, a little assessment just to check all of their knowledge. And at the end of the lesson, I'm now going to ask, is there any more questions anyone might have for me? Are we all happy to go? Okay, see you later class. I'll see you for the next lesson. Thanks very much.